I have an unboxing! Okay, so you can probably tell I'm super duper excited because inside this very damaged package, I have already disinfected it and cleaned and everything else, is a very special order that I did. And I'm super excited because some of you might know I use very cheap brushes. I use dollar store brushes that I've had for years. And one day I decided, you know what? I deserve good brushes. So I went to Jackson's Art and I did some damage and I got me some good brushes. So this is very well glued. Ugh. Oh my god. Why would you do that? Oh, Jesus. Oh god. Ugh. Okay, I'm in. Very simple. And this whole box for this. Okay. Alright, but it's pretty much all paper, so it's all good. I'm going to recycle this. And this is what we have. Okay, one of them did not come with a protective thing, which I don't love. So 100% decomposable, which is cool. Darn it. It has one hair frayed. Just before I talk, let's just try and reshape it. Save it. Okay, cool. It's still good. Okay. Alright, crisis averted. Alright. Now to talk to actually what I have in here. Let me just remove the crinkly because it's very crinkly. This added up to 30 euros. These 3 brushes. And for me, that's absolutely crazy. But first of all, they're absolutely gorgeous. They're all black. 2 of them are from the Silver Black Velvet line. So if you know Victoria del Vetgalas, I think that's her name, or Juicy Ink as she was previously known, she uses these brushes a lot and she raves about them, and they're not cheap. They're not cheap at all. I have here the prices. The number 2, this guy, is 7.90 pounds, which in euros might be a little bit more. I don't quite remember what I paid. I know that in total I paid like 30 euros and it hurt to me, but this guy is like 7.90. This one is 12.50, which for me is absolutely bonkers that I spent that much on a brush, but I just had to. Let me just quickly remove the starch from it. I have absolutely been eyeing these brushes for a while. They are squirrel and ricin brushes, so they are natural hairs. I have never tried natural hairs. My normal brushes are like this. They're like synthetic and very whatever. I just use whatever's on the dollar store at the moment, and I never really cared much about natural brushes. But I don't know, I just thought it was time to just try it. And these ones, she raves about these a lot, and I have made the decision to just use these with watercolors. I will put them in a separate jar, and these will be my watercolor brushes because I tend to use gouache with my other ones, and gouache can really destroy your brushes because it's a bit more abrasive. So these will be only watercolor, and good watercolor as well. And now I have something that I've been earning to use for ages. So this is a mop brush. This is from the House of Jackson's, and it's a Raven synthetic mop brush. So it's synthetic. It's pretty cool looking. Let me just again remove all the starch and clean it out. The cool thing about mop brushes is that they hold a heck ton of water and they still maintain their point. So there's a little stray hair here which I don't love, and I might have to trim it or see if I can put it in place in time. It holds this shape in the way that it's painted, at least I'm seeing that. And I'm very curious because I've always wanted to use a mop brush, and this one was $5.90. It's the cheapest mop brush that I could find. It's also very tiny. I kind of wanted something to allow me to just do more washes, but I think I might have to get another one that's bigger in the future because this one is not that big. It seems to hold a lot of water. For example, if I do like that, it gets very full. So that's something I'm very curious about, and that's something I will test out. So these are my very fancy brushes, and that I'm super excited to use them. So I am just dying to try them out. I want to make this a proper review because I know some people are very curious about these brushes, myself included. I am very curious because I've seen Tori, that's the nickname for her, I've seen Tori use them so many times that I'm just dying to know what's the big deal. And mop brushes are just something that I find so cool looking, but I never really have the opportunity to spend on them. And this was basically my quarantine splurge, was these brushes. Might not be a lot for some people, but for me, spending all of this on only brushes was a lot. But hopefully it will be worth it. This one unfortunately didn't came with a protective case, but I have fixed it. And this one has a little hair that's standing up, but hopefully it not be an issue. I will just quickly do some swatches because I quickly just want to see how they are. I just want to see what's their shape like, how they behave, and I want to see all that. So, got here my Sennelier, and I just want to quickly see what I think. I will try my best to just use this with my good watercolor, so basically my Sennelier. First let's try the mop brush because I'm extremely curious about it. I'm very curious about the mop brush. I have been meaning to have one forever. Let's just get the White Knights because it's a big pan. It's very loaded. It's very cool to use. But yeah, the thing is, even though it's a synthetic brush, it does not spring back to its form. Like if I do that, I mean, it kinda, yes, it kinda springs back to its form, but not that much. And it carries a lot of water, which is cool, and the point is not too bad. I can still do fine lines. Yeah, I'm very happy with it, and it's very comfortable in hand, since it's just a thin, such a thin handle. But yeah, this will be good to cover big areas. I don't have a brush, a very big brush. The biggest that I have is this one. This is the biggest that I have right now. This is from Giotto, a 6. And in comparison, they look very similar, but the amount of water that this one can hold is much bigger. So I am pretty satisfied with that for now. And pretty happy with it. Yeah. Very good so far. Okay, let's try the Silver Black Velvet number 6. And let's just go for this color here. Let's go here. Remove the excess. And so far, so good. I mean, I never really cared about fancy brushes. So to me, these feel the same. That's why I want to see what's the big whoop about spending so much money on brushes when they can do exactly the same. I can say that the point is very nice. It holds a very nice point. And it's super comfortable in the hand as well. So I really just want to see, yeah, I can have very big variation of stroke, which is pretty much what I wanted. So this one is very good as well. And now finally the teeny tiny one. Let's just go with some little blue here. And this one, very tiny and thin. I can get some very thin brush strokes here. But yeah, they are very soft. And I like it a lot so far. They're very comfortable, but like I said, I was never too picky with brushes, so I don't really know what will be the difference, but I know I will definitely treat them very right and clean them and only use them with watercolor. I will get a separate jar for my brushes, and I think I'll put them far away there, or maybe, I don't know, I will find a way to just keep them away from gouache, because that's what might kill them. And no thank you, I spent way too much money on these. But yeah, the lines are extremely thin. This will be amazing for lining my work. I will be very looking forward to it. But it can still add a bit of water, and it seems like it can hold a nice amount of pigment, which is cool. So yeah, this is my first impression of them. There is a hair in this one, yeah, that's wanting to fly away. But these ones so far, they look very cool, and I'm very interested to see if they make any difference in my work, if I can just carry on buying cheapo brushes. So comparing them to all my brushes, I have a pretty amount of brushes because they too tend to lose their point and sharpness, mostly because I do use them with gouache. All are from packs. Maybe my fine liners are the only ones that I do get separate because I know I like them. And most of them are just little packs that I got here and there, very mixed brands. Some are not even a brand at all, it's just from the dollar store. So yeah, let's see if these 3 brushes can make up for all of these. And honestly, from all of these, I use maybe 4, because some are just completely ruined. Like this guy is a Raphael 0, and it pretty much lost its point already. I've had it for a couple of years, granted, but it already lost its point, and it's not amazing to paint details, so it's very blunt. So I'm not sure. I do use a lot these ones, but these are my recent ones and they make a nice point. Yeah. Oh, then my big one as well. I've had this for years and years, and you can tell it's very worn out, but I just use it when I want to fill up something, so it doesn't really need to have a point. So yeah, these are all my brushes. I just get them and I try to take care of them, but sometimes with gouache it gets difficult. I even have soap and I try to take care of them, but it does not get easy sometimes. So these are them. I will do a few pieces with them throughout the week and I'll give you my opinion in the end. I just really want to see if I notice anything different, if I feel myself enjoying more painting, and see pretty much what's the big deal about them, because I've heard so many people rave about them that I'm just super curious. So that is it for now, and I'll see you in my next clip. Welcome to the voiceover part. So this voiceover will be very quick since the whole process of painting was very quick. I did this painting very loosely and it was just to see how I would feel. I've been doing a lot of floral studies since I've been in kind of a rut, almost an art block, where I really don't know what to draw. Floral studies are a lifesaver because I can still be a little creative and have fun and practice, so I've been doing them a lot. I also did another one off camera because I was just practicing and just didn't think it would turn out that great, so I didn't film it, but I actually really like how it turned out. It will be in the final clip, so you can just check it out. I also posted a photo of it on Instagram if you want to check it out in a little bit more detail. I'm really enjoying these brushes and I think they're not super different from anything that I have, but I believe that they will maintain their shape for longer. So in the long end, they might replace all of my other brushes and I can just basically work with these. I found myself not using the smaller one as much because the bigger ones do maintain a very nice shape and point. So I didn't feel like, oh, I need a liner brush now, or I need something thinner. I tried my best to use them all, but that's more for me to try them. I have used them more. By the time I'm doing this voiceover, it's maybe around 2-3 weeks by the time I film this. A lot has happened since, and I am enjoying this a lot so far. I am really just having fun with them, and yeah, they are just very easy to use, and I don't feel like I need anything else. I might eventually like to have a bigger mop brush, but that's just me. It's not like I need it, it's just because I think it would be fun to have it and just play with the shapes. This floral study did not came the best. It's a bit messy, but it was one of the first that I did. I'm just trying to practice florals more because for me they're very difficult. I find them extremely confusing where all the petals are. So I try my best to practice them, but sometimes I just get sick of the sketching part, and then when I actually go to paint, I have no idea where anything is, and of course, that goes bad. I don't know if you know this, but sketching is actually my least favorite part of the whole process of drawing. So I can't rush it a lot. That sometimes is my downfall. And in this case, it was, because this is just a mess. I much prefer how my other drawing turned out, and unfortunately I didn't record it. Darn it. I wasn't thinking that was going to come out well. It was just something I was doing, just past the time, and I did not think of hitting record. That's my bad there. So I'm pretty much done with the drawing here. I'm just going to move you over to next clip Bia, where she is going to tell you what she thinks about these brushes. Okay, so here we have the study that I did to try out these brushes, and I have to say these are an absolute delight to work with. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I can totally tell that, for example, I just used these 3 because I wanted to try them out, but I could totally just use these 2 because since this holds such a thin point, it's very versatile, and I just had a very delightful time using these. They were very nice to use, very comfortable to handle. So I guess I can see why you would spend this amount of money on just a few brushes, because I didn't need to use more than these 3, and like I said, I could probably just use 2 and maybe even just 1. So I can tell that they are very versatile, and I actually have a friend that has almost this exact same setup, except she has an 8. She mentioned she basically just uses this one for a whole painting, the number 8 in her case. So I can see that they can replace a lot of brushes, while instead of using maybe 4 or 5 that are different shapes and are in different states of condition, these were great, and I really enjoyed using a mop brush. It's a new experience for me, but I really enjoy it. It's so soft, and I didn't notice a lot of difference from them being natural bristles. One thing that I would notice is that they keep their shape a little bit. They don't spring back immediately as it happens with synthetic brushes, but I didn't find that horrible. Actually, I was a bit afraid of that, but I didn't find that completely horrible to work with, or that I wouldn't be able to work with it again. So yeah, these are definitely great. I am definitely going to use them more, and again, only in watercolors. I do not plan on using these in anything else because I'm just so scared of messing them up. My final opinion is that they are great. I really have nothing bad to say except that they're a bit expensive, but if this lasts me for a few years in great conditions, I'll try my best to take good care of them, like washing them properly and just taking good care of them, not taking them anywhere. I will not be traveling with these ever. I really have nothing bad to say about them. But for example, I don't feel like my life has changed. I could still very well use my other brushes, which I will be still doing, especially for gouache, but it's nice to have them. I wouldn't say like you must have this in your collection unless you're missing out. I wouldn't say that. But they are nice to have. I think it really depends on what you're looking for. If you're not picky with brushes like me, honestly, any brush will do as long as it holds a point. These have the benefit of holding point, and the handle is very comfortable. I can say that. Extremely comfortable to hold. It did not change my world, but it was nice and a nice experience. So I guess that's my final thoughts about them. They are pretty good. I will keep using them, but I will still be using my other brushes. It's not like I will never again touch them. I hope you like this kind of review in a way. I was really looking forward to trying these brushes, and I wanted to share my opinion with you guys. Let me know if there's anything that you'd like me to try that you know something and you like me to try my get my hands on them, something not too expensive because my budget is not crazy, but I will try and keep bringing new things to the channel so I can share with you guys. These are not particularly new, but they are new to me, so thank you so much for being here. If you want to like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know anything you want me to try again. And if you want to check out my Instagram, link is down below, as well as my Skillshare and the code that gives you 2 months free for Skillshare. Yay! Thank you again, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!